3FM Sunrise.
And that's a Jama group right there.
Sunrise.
That's on your time. Me in a group like okay?
The best in the morning
Favors band.
is on 92.7.
Sunrise
Sunrise on 3FM.
Oba enjoy ni yemi ejo I'm a free exercise feel. She be an oba che ofe che denche. Aba yempai no neighbor ni ofine microphone e short de koni ofine omba manye kono yo empire koni ogbele nuchumona.
3FM Sunrise.
Wanyami Osofo ni Esolifia hawo dani wajishi.
Yefane jawa je no chumo nsin oba bi okleje nungbo koni ebadomo mi yen hawo manche mi manche ata oyiru adon no nchobo jisije lo bo no ji na gbe lo nungbo lele inu chumo ne ni oba chu ne no nchowo chuke wo bo pogbe yenyam bo pe osomona abami yue mo nfe ni oba yue bo pe o yue mo ni won bibo nga wo kesusu mo ye won bibo no ya keshole mo nye me hunu ncho na me yen ne program ne no ncho fata mo ame no gbele dwen ame dwen mo me but na veka wo gbe no chumo na wo go shidari sa wa habo manche oyiru adon ye bo Yesu Kristo gba mi so lo ye amen.
3FM Sunrise.
The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
Bomanye odomo gamashi fena ohanyo manyele hum ye biene lebine nyeba kwishi biene we mo keleliji no ya ke sholemo kinoni kenye eba biene ni wole krede ake ina ba gbina hu e no ko ken ejemi eba keje ni le be ni kasemo ken ba jepo ni ba no be no yushiwo atane be kenklen afon ni wacha meni ame pe o ke ba bi ene alo meni ba bi ene ke hanu ko ne fe mo ne koni ame ke wo noko ame kenklen ame ke wo noko be pie ko ba mo ko shia ke mo pe bo ke ba bo kenklen ba wi o dansan e ke mo nwe na ye ni e ke ba wu no ba kpa fa meni hani wo ba bi ene alo meni ba bi ene lebi ne na ba amba to awo no ame kenklen ame ji ame na ake ame ba kende kobe wo hele ame ne kende enyo shi ostino ame domono ni ame ke ba shebie sani ame hawole ke wo hu wo na no wo aka ame
3FM Sunrise.
Ni ofine bimba manye ago atame ka wome ofine woje 3FM 92.7 wo here le fonko she one nakeshi inshona ke woya ke wole ke many heolo ke many shanlo ke many holo ke lohenuchumo sanjin few bahe ma ke won yue bia na ke won akeshi fuel premix ba no na ne aya here fuel ye gone no alo petrol ye gone no na ke 4 ba futu of me oil dan ake ya wo no ha ni bi amiewa agbene ho me use tacholete chemicals ke ni bi na ken fish agbene ho petrolex ke ni bi light fishing ke ni bi amengba wo le mena no na kanji no jin no ne wo otini wo babia ni wo ba wie oba na shnamo o radio na e a shon wa de nche onukpa ebo to a Ministry of Fisheries ke USAID bi fe amembotwe na ne no yo ne no wo ba wie e ba ya shon de nche essentially what I'm saying is that we have come here to have a conversation with our mothers and fathers, our fisher folk,
3FM Sunrise.
to understand at first hand what the real issues that confront them are. Issues about premixed fuel, issues about fishing, fish monging, issues about selling of fish, etc. We have come here to understand at first hand what they go through. And the chief earlier had allowed the pastor to pray and then went on to ask me to do the purpose of gathering. So that's exactly what I've done now. Now, in line with our customary practices and tradition, as I finish the purpose of gathering, I will hand over respectfully again to the chief to be able to guide me again where we go from there.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
Ohele ni kendenyo. Wobe bako wonu noni tetri o nyeba. Be noya ke shele mo hewo ni nyeba be wo wonu shishi agbene ake be pie ko jemna ni o wie no kope ko a wie no kokokokro shi fe noya jino ni watawo o wie mo mi ogbala mi o tun ake shi be ishona Sunday titiri alo wo ya Sunday titiri jino ni hewo ni oba nakan wo hu ye mi ake wo na agba mo shi nakan jele mi ba ye ni jele mi she jino hunu echu ofe be ne sa na echu jena ni oba na ke hunu kano je echele fe ona ke dun ewo o jele mi echake no wo chole kan me change e te shon denche wo ebe ke ha gboma de sape ye ke ha nsho le hu nsho hu le hu emi echake lo e hu na kan no je be ni echake ha wo lo ni be ko ne hu wo na e bi ene le hu e aje koklo no ni o tawo e bi e lo hu no me ba bi e be mi ni wo tawo lo ni wo na le ake wo na le ochi na mi e ba aje ochi koklo no fe no echake wo jele mi echake ni ebe bi epe ye ke ha jele fe wo yemo e balake mini hani ne ke no ko ne ya no mini hani ne ke no ko ne ya no gbeme adesan ni wo yo wo chake jele mi le be ni wo ba na le ne yo na kan no ni wo ifale echake jele mi wo ni fe mo echake jele mi ni bi srope echake jele mi hani ni bi pi echake ekese be ni wo mba hin ni wo yinfa be ni bi hu yase ni wo besan wo ke wo susumo alo wo dwen ojugba ni wo le wo gbejiano to be ni wo ba ya lo ha ni ba hani no fe no a lo ojugba titiri ye make gbeme adesan wo ha ni ba na kan wo ni fe mo ni ji wo he kramo ke wo ni bi kramo ke wo susumo wo dwen mo ko ni le wo ni bi tawo e hani ni bi echake ejele mbasa ye nshomi sande ayu wo ba ye nshona sande ye nshomi e o ba na ke nui aboy ni yo jele mfe e boti nshomi ni wo kramo ye wo shian ke wo kuchum titiri e hani ni bi babawo e boti nshomi alo wo ni tamo ni e hani bi pi e boti nshomi ni hani jele mi e fe basa han wo alo nshomi e fe basa han wo titiri ji wo bola ngo fio wo ni bi ni wo fio ko wo yini ye ni wo ke wo ye ni we ni wo fio le wo ha ni e aboti nshomi no ne hin no ne sa fe nshomi be me adesan ba yu ake oh tafrache ko te ni ami ngba ke wo ake wo nshomi shi afio le noko dani ake wo nshomi ni hani insho una la ke to be ni sebo alo no tolete ya mi no fio na gba ha wo shi bi ane wo den che ojo mo ya ni What color can she no koni? No, okay, Sabo and Atletico, Pualo, Africa, no way, okay, I will me direct. If you're not back, I can lower, no, you. Can you lower? Can lower ye near, okay, the no bashui, if you lower different thing altogether. Okay, about Nina will know. Well, Bola Jinwoka won't show me, no, quose, the Banina, Tomo, Chanke, okay, Hila won't show me, okay, Hilano, Ebanina. Okay, maybe sorting will show me, but no tower show me on Yase. As I can lower and wicole, someone look at me. We have one Nitaumo and show me if I want to feel. No say, Nippon, send like if any small, he, nay, can lower Yase, back when Saneta Betty Baffy, the Molo say. Or when Sunday Conga, Ngaji, Saneta Locone, they can't Molo Agbene, Lugino Niba, now feel illegal fishing Agbene, Locone, a cake Molo, Nibi Nisa, Kaken won't show me. Agbene low and walk in Tower Agbene, Nibi can be Yase. No fear on Webelek and Loco Cromba. I use illegal ways, light, chemical, Niji Kabat, Agbene monofilament net, what you saw, Agbene, what you won't fa, we had a humfa, Bemen fire no ye, or lower if you be how, they could never way far. Okay, at the Shomina Molo, lower, and ye be no Amoleno Abba. Be an way fa, the len with fa, Nibi fa. Or no fair check how if in a how of you or you most of my UP, I can hear me be Kunia channel for you.
Thank you very much. So Ni's talking about the fact that things have changed and that our own human practices, including how fecal matter is dumped into the sea, how rubbish plastics are dumped into the sea, and he talks about the fact that all the rivers come and end in the sea. So because of our own human practices, we now drive away the fish, and that has made us resort to using what we are not supposed to use in terms of illegal fishing, chemicals, and all those things to try and fish. And he says that we must desist from that. Well, that's in a nutshell. Find any empire still? Oh, yeah, empire, no. Because no me 6-2 score by empire, no.
3FM Sunrise.
Nake show ba ofa na jemo e show chon mani mo fiam waje e sha chon okoni waje nkomo shishi ofa ta job ten
acho mi la telumba ifi mi age shore gan shore na mi onupe ko meji mi kenu ona onupe ko mi
la telumba osmoda de lumba wa
mi small papa
me your favorite number
is phone number
that be your favorite number that the lumba number
3FM Sunrise.
Dabi nka kwa ko la min to ma di DJ atwabo
let's cast him
os mo skasem it's mo skasem wa latte lumba chale drop the skasem for you skasem dey
champion lumba 1 twala nakalala ale ike wu
Uncle Bami. Uncle Bami. Come on. La Telumba on the floor.
Ovane Imbeyi Jonathan Adi. Ovane Kenu na Jimmy. Jesta Shonena. Ilelebe Ima VIP. Ovane. Obe Mofia Moke. No Fia
He's a canoe owner, and the inscription on his canoe is VIP. Ni ofana de jemo ishocho.
Ofana chomi ni amabudu.
3FM Sunrise.
Oshimpa denche. Ofana tacho bote. Ojemo ishocho.
Jordan Ninchi Wama. Canoe at the same time secretary to the chief fisherman.
Oh, secretary to the chief fisherman. Right hand man. So we have our women also here. We'll engage them. Mokoke babi sane. Eke yellow a robber me. She low bafti. No etane bisane ne ya. Look for him for me. It's a dark man. Manche. Babi osane mini sano babi. Jemo ishocho kankenobi.
Atome asapwacha ili. Sane feel ni oje premise sane. Premise igba wula na wa. No igba wula ma na. Wala ga gonu betre gelewo. She premise ani batuni. A week ni. Wa nya on 3 months ke se dani premise aba. Go igba na wa. Ni bi fen we chake shi. Keji yo ejele mi ni bi chake. No wo toto enu pa ko bi ni premise chake. Se na me kwa gbejano to. Alo to mo bi ni wo nu pa iwe. Keji lele ni o fe bola eshian no go mi no wo na onu pa e ga collabo akeshi ni keke ni ken gbejano to ni kin wo keji yo mo kun ya no wa po nu pa fa ya akeshi wo to wo yin yan lo wo to gbejano to jugba keji bo leader o to gbejano to jugba no se bi fe ni go egbe no kwele an go wa pa fa yo mo fe ni.
Thank you very much. After the one let my prayer no go. Thank you. Yeah, you are done. Uncle, how many people Sunday? I don't think canoe owner name. Illegal method of fishing. Na ke carbide ke nibi na ke fish. Mini jojo moye.
Injo moni yo eji. If you me age wo bi ene shore na wo nagani bi e wo use she any gbe na use wo if you me age wo ni ne wo yue ya awie wa ka we tashi wo yue ya ni bona ya le nagano ni wo bi enu wo fe ko e wo ke wo yue mo ya he na fio ye jengbe bi ye ama me fi age no ame fio wo ama me bu obi egbe bi ye ke nagan wie mo ni nyeme ni nye ko nagan ni bia no sali nye ke nyina ne ma sha ke wo ke ni ne aka fe nye use of soldier nye use of police sali nye ke nagan ni bia tuni ye nagan majiano chi nye fe lo ko ke nye ba bi wo sale nye te ebe yeti ke nye ba bi wo nye te ebe yeti e ko bo ni gba na kra ni ma yueji e fi awo wo le me nye shishi wo wa shishi mo nye shishi wo gi ka ba award wo le me award ni nya wo le esa wo yi aje esa wo yi gi ko se me award agbo ke me ko ni ba ni wo le me ka te ga wo ya pa ke ko be agin awo ene ko me mi be ji award nya wo esa wo yi o ni to age no an ke ye la ka wo ora wo nu tu mo nu wo tu wo gbele ke tole ke ni bi pi mo pi eni wo san ke ni ma wa award eni ko ni ka ke me ne ala award eni ebi ase chije ni wa wo ya pa ke ko be mi ni agefio wo mi we mo fio ni yo ma wi ni.
So he says that, well, around this beach, they don't use chemicals to fish, the carbide and all of that. They don't use that to fish. And because of that, they find other communities, fishing communities, using that. And they think that is unfair because when they finish talking about it, it appears that nobody talks about it. He wants the law enforcement agencies, the military, marine police, and the police themselves to insist that what they do here by not using chemicals to fish must be enforced across the country on all the coastal lands. And then he also bemoaned the situation that, look, when it's time to award farmers and fishermen, they come and they give them one bag of a net and that's it. And you think that they are not being fair to them because they also deserve better. To be properly awarded. So he says that fishermen are being cheated, canoe owners are being discriminated against, and he doesn't like that. Let me quickly engage our women and ask them a question about carbide. Man, we find a carbide there. mini ba mi kebo mi
eyi kura eyi ka lakalu ba labem ni eche ko ke te shi anu wefite wo bi ene wo la cheme ka ke lu kwa pakure ke bi ko ke je ko ko pakure ke bi awazi wa mi ke ba bi e kura o wi mo fi oni yo ni.
So she says that, look, the kabite actually, it drains the blood out of the fish, and the fishermen here insist that they should not be brought here. In fact, if you bring it here, it will be seized. So the Usher Town, Jamestown, the London Beach, and around here, there's strict discipline that goes on here. Na meji many enforce wake nakani akafiye bi ma kemomi na me enforce wake akafiye bi.
Wala cheme. Ama me ha na ke ba bi enu wo ye wo me gbe na ke ba e ka me ke ba ni ke am ba te wo bi ene jala ni afiko yi no a se mu 8 years alo 10 years inu ami ni wo sha lo ye iso na mi iso na afiko je ni kan wo ye je me ni aba me ni ko ni eni no na ma kwa wo lo e ye je me lo jin wo sasan fe amates keno no wa kaka ife anu kwale se bi eto na me ke wo Jamestown lo papa ni she no mete papa anu fante papa anu fe na ma test lo jin je lo je fe chemicals mi so bi ene lo we chemicals be mi so lo fine wa de nche.
So she's explaining to us, our mother is explaining to us that for the other beaches you find, especially in the Fante land, you find fishes that have, you know, chemicals in it and all of that. And Helen, I want you to be, because you are very instructive about chopping fish, right? You like to eat fish. How do you feel knowing that your fish could be carbide laced? How do you feel?
The best in the morning.
Very worried about that. And like I said last time when we had that conversation, it really opened my eyes to the kind of chemicals that we're eating. And now if you think about issues concerning, you know, other environmental problems, then you know that we're in a health situation. So I hope today we're also going to be finding out more what the fisher folk themselves think about it.
Right. And they're telling us that here it doesn't happen because the leadership of the fisher folk ensure that it doesn't happen. What we are concerned about is what happens elsewhere. Lower taflache kuleka na lower Jamestown bia no Ashatown bia nye te hiko klonya here nye consider keshi ikola ke chemicals e a more lower lo.
Ofane no ni wo ya nuwa hi wo de nche wona ke difference few yami ke hawo si face ehin difference few yami si ehin hawo wa hi o ke ba wo ba ho ehin hawo lo wo shi obi ene wo ya wa ya takrade wa dina wa hi olu ka wona mi o swenka chile ka wona ye bi ene wa ajan wa weli o ka wa ho fresh wa ehin ehin hawo lo well no ni lo mo fi onu ma wi emi na ke ehin hawo ken ka wona le ina wa hawo ka wona tuntu le ko me
ana lo
ana ka wo teje wona ke ba ehin hawo.
So she's explaining to us that, look, they go to other places, they find a fish that they can't find around here, they find the fish, and then they bring it back. They see the difference in it, though, in terms of quality, but what can they do? What else is there? Let's speak to the chief fisherman.
I was going to say, I saw Mommy shaking her head. I think she wants to make an intervention.
Okay, fine then.
Ama me ho shon kentile she wo lo bibi jino ni wo ho ni ne ke illegal fish ni na chon ni me ni sun laipe ameke kan ni e kumo ni odomo e ko ni dun ye je mi no na ni kan de npe ke mba o ya kan de yi e wo lo e ba kan de yi na me nu ole afuash ko me no jino ni gba wo lo bibi ho lo ana sha me shon che me ni ama me no ayedi na me ke kwa show ke kwa te ama no lo ponko me lo ko me aka lo bibi o ba pete po na ke ba wo nu emi ni lu e ba amole na ba sha like ba ba ngui e wa ma me no etomo wo no.
So there's a difference. You know, shoin and chile are high-end fishes, right?
Okay.
Very expensive fishes, right? So if you have money, that's when you can go for shoin and chile. But she's talking about the smaller fishes. So boy, antele, all those ones, jassy. She's talking about those ones. And she says that, look, when they use light to fish, the smaller fishes gravitate towards the light. And so they are able to harvest all at once. And it's a disadvantage to them because when they go, then they burn fuel, they can't find the, what do you call it, the fish. However, for the Chilean shoin, they use the hook and then they literally hook small fishes to it, and, right, hook and line, and then they toss it in there and they're able to harvest the Chile and shoin. So they will face that problem, but those who sell the Chile and shoin, will not find that problem. Okay. So that's a bigger conversation. Let me ask the chief fisherman. Ni ofane sanena you or anukwaleni?
If you are wo nyeme ewie fio ye. Neke light fishing can be ne wote san wona ke iwawo gbomocho different yo neke lo na minji no more le fresh air kwa ka fish mi ka je e be no ka oshi no na different ka le fine no ni ji light e won ka ogie mi pe wana ka eshun wo different ye mi ni agbene oye gbomocho mi no ni light e ha gbomocho e wale no ni ji original ni ji light e ha gbomocho e wale ni kucho mi wo yo ke o amola itilo nehi no kababie obano bagbeme bie no ke wo sumo e bie wo sumo ni na afio ye akeya government ewi agashi akafe no ni wake boji wo bie ne wo fe mo ne meni fio amena shikawa ni eji na agba ke ha wo ajake o ke no ko mba ke mambi akafe no sani o ke ya across wo mo fe mo akpa fe mo ni mo fe mo ananu de tawo she fe to mo wo fe me comme fait be amena shika be won tashi won kwe won jo gbomo choyi mi wale woni bi invité kumo leleke ya ijala machine ka ya wu ijala mene eshe 400 and something ni ya shika afa no e gba wona isara o sani government ya kana na ma shaka shi nke aka fe neke mi ne ba tekile ni eke sa neke ni na wi mo poka wi ke ka ke angan show mo fe mo botwe no mi no ni balake ake akpala itu ya ni no mo ko botwe ni afe no ne sa ona ka okbotemi hu ona ke mla ni yo inshona ni ji mla na ke govern fishing echi eche ke 1931 gbe ke ni bi echi anya mo fishing trawler na efe illegal fishing akele ba court police ya mole aba fine le ekole 440 million ona 40,000 Ghana cedi ka ofan le lo oni emi is about 200,000 kese yo nuwe akashi o fe noko wona ke ni efe to mla anye mo o police no le je ke amole ke te e ba noko fi ke ngme ya ja ke kele ba shikafa anya wole mo anya fe noko noko ni awe ake light lo ne e gba mana shi effort na gba fe na gba stop e fe na gba noji oti ni gba wona wo bi ene wo ko ne de machine no ayu one wo ke wo fi wo ka wo fi ne mo ko fi na ka no ke government ka wo si sa wo una ni efe to mo fe ni e kotobla na ka make me ko me akwa ame ni wo yue da na ke wo bi ene wo fi wo bi ene ke mo ko me po e shu baba na ka ke shu aki wo no ko ye ne ke ni ne na ka wo nye wo fi shi ke no ko ba na wa ke o ni se ne ate na ha wo de akete azanya gbe ke ni bi ko me je me ka ke nye una ke o fe ne ke no ko e meni o shi ese ame ba gwan me ake woni wo fe ne ke categories ne fe na ha wo de wo be mi ha we ko ake wo fe wo nshona neat wo fe ne ke shi light lo ne wo fe ne ake awo una ni e na gba ake mekun yemla no ni ame na ase o yemla no be mo ogbo o yemla no nu shishi mene e bala ke ka o fe ko pa be no mo echo ha mo ke abu ni e be fo wo se ni ko vente we no ake nke aka fe ne ke me come ye no o mi na fi o me ni ye no Low any I feel like to look illegal fishing. Come up to Kabad Nachone. If I believe about Mokwa, if I want Hilayama, Jeremy Pema, government, Yeme Feba Ego, Kaka government, the president, Yeme Feba Ego, Moko is Nakamoko Dane, Hilagoka Wumi, Mokope, Etation, Ona, no one Nagbakao, one Pafai, Afenonisa, Kuninonis Jaji and Jaji. I can Amashi, any Afe government, like Jamestown. Gamashine, Wafe, Nakene, Ele, Eche, Wakele, Wakame, Wakame, our Kuse Babie, Wakele, Lenchek, Yue, Sandico, Yaku, Watayame, Ele Amelaka Wafe, Mina Fioka, Gose Onashka, Mokobeba, Lulu, Fe, and show me, a Kakati, Bruanema Moshina Tomotri, Beonyeme and Kwame, Enagba, one to Mameno or Yumone.
So Nee says that there's a difference in the fish that is sourced from light fishing and the one that is not sourced from light fishing. When you harvest it, you can actually tell that the one from light fishing is actually very stiff, and then the one which is not sourced by light fishing is actually very flexible and healthy. And he says that, look, people who use chemicals to fish don't actually just sell to one person. They distribute it so the president's relatives, everybody else could also be eating the same fish. But they are insisting here that that should not happen. Light fishing, chemical fishing, legal fishing of any sort should not happen. And they want some form of encouragement by the law enforcement agencies stamping their feet on the ground to make sure that that doesn't happen anywhere in the country. And unfortunately for him, the last time an award was going to be given was taken all the way to Adanland in Azizanya. And they found that strange because they here have insisted, and the Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Hawa Kumsing, knows about their enforcement of, not having chemical and light fishing, etc. here. So they get surprised that, look, we're doing the right thing, we're leading by example, and yet nobody comes to pat us on the back, and they find it quite strange indeed. Let's engage Papa Osofo. Papa Osofo, Inuku Ogbe, Uncle Maba, I'm about Papa Osofo to it. Mini country,
Toboni, Walla Cheni, Amamulu, Yuemo, Lele, Obiane, light fishing, Mosumo. Ni bonu akai sani bonu light fishing ne yo ke bonu ayani akena lowe eji loko kwakwa ni ehani wona ewala na mo lowe ni aba pele na baba elafin yo mi efite no lowe che ni wona wole ake ne ke lo ne ko oye Imabo cancer, Imabo ni be short to Yago Mochuemi. No, dear, why are they light fishing? Ni what you day, the walk out by Shilo, I mean, you know what ni Ejinaba, what be an echo to Ejinaba, ni what we are, what Nushi, ni Ajanaga, Award, Yayani, Ajana light fishing. Na award again. Wa meni bonu wo sumo no wa ye ko ye die wa mo wota shompo ni abu wa ye we ya ni nutumo wo tumo ye die wa ye nutumo ya soto ni wa ya wo ye die ona wa ya soto ye die ni wa ya like you ye wa ame ko kaba die ko bo you no I like lo kaba die no ba shobo e shona no begano to ni what to ye die Sani government na agaje sound what to begano to ye bi odupa agbani no ni na gbe wo premise mi si ni tane premise iwo iwa premise ke eko ba mene jano die tenyo die je dana ge ko baba ina ka baba ne esewo ke age premise esewo ni na le age government Jimoni e domonike premise na kian wo na bi ane lolly petrol ni ame use ni ji super lojo no wo use ni yejalewa jawo ye obasa wo ye no kwa miss no kwa ya wo no wo ni wo ya aya wo si wona na ko you are very mo ana wo ke o si ana wo ke bi no you mo fi o ne yeru adu.
Did you understand the last part? That they can see you pregnant, but they don't find a child. Do you understand?
No,
you don't get it?
I don't get it.
Forget about it. It means that all your efforts are coming to naught.
Okay.
And essentially, he's talking about the same things that Nyamawulu spoke about. That look, they are making frantic efforts. They are going towards a certain direction, but they are not getting the kind of motivation and the governmental support that they need. So all of their effort really is coming to
like the award, for example.
And not beyond that. I mean, if somebody is using light to fish, how would they get money if they are competing with such a person to fish? You know, it's a problem.
Yes.
This gentleman just got back from the sea. He should explain to us what happened on the sea last night.
Yo, nyofia na mi ha mofia mo maye mi ba mofia mo do mo hu. Ingbeji ni abio Trekwanda defeat chief fisherman of the Gun State Abola. Ingbeji ni abio Trekwanda defeat chief fisherman of the Gun State Abola. Me wa femi ake kema wie no ko fio kechon wo shitamoni wo try ne. Wa femi ake wo nwie about light fishing ni aya ni ikena gba ekonkume ba ke gbejana to na to ni ehin lele neke light fishing ne won try adafi ni won yue ni won ke mambi ni won hani amena amele yake light fishing ne na ya ewa agbena won egbeno ni atun na ke biolo ye ke ni eye bua wo gbeme wo gbomoto hiwale na mo benona chon na ke ya ke benona chon na ke biolo ye eye ibo awo ehani iwale ahin lo e pu ka ke ba ni abayi emi wo gamashin sho na ye bi ne ken light fishing ne wo ke wo na ne machine ake ba bi ni wo pe ne huni aya na kan light fishing ne bi wo ke wo wula che mefe ni yo upa ikonkuma no ama abotue alo ameke wo gbe afe kume ni woke wona na machine isafo ko e ba ye bua ni ba wa wo fe ake gbeno na chon ake dynamite ke DDT me ke carbad ke a chon gbe straw to ino ni ake ngbe ke won na le for our personal interest ake o sani woya ni wona lopi na ba ho ye sani won wo join wo gbomocho hewale na mo yi lele o ba agbele pi ke ba shimo no ke baba na egbe me design ba ye ni sano bugbe me he akunta ke gbe me no bo ba ho ha na ba ye ke aya hun afiko me afi enyo to ba na me gbomo cho he wale na moten alo ko ke ba ni na gba ko iba ni aye ebu ame ni mmene amecho ame se ko ke ba ego na me ko ya ho a ewo makpa mo fia mo fa ya ke mmene adafi ni wotwa ke ngongo ni wotwa ne ya mo fia mo to emi bona fi ni wo ke na ni machine ne ken light fishing ne isafu wo ba pa government te hun fai ake ke no ni wo yu o ne ama me ke ba ama me wo no na me ke hi ni won boy wo modern ni isafu ke wo ti ame ko me wo mumi pen ni wo ke wo bilina lo wo landing beach sa na akika baje ni me ko me hu eji afa na me nkwe na kembaje wo ba pa government e fai nile wo no keba nile keba ni wo ti ameku me wo fo ase e bo modern ne ke hi awomi bona fe ni ekume konkume ne hwe ye ko ni akona ke na nya machine na gu na kan energy ye isu wo ma we pi no ni ji enyo ma we no ko bibio kechon pane no ni e bote man bi fe atuemi e ba fe mi akeje no he program ne afio she must money madumo ne ken hegbe na no ni nketwa adavi ke wo ba kwa social media e ba fe mi ake gbe tenji o chi mami ne ke won kwa social media wona ke wonye mi no e ko me e ba fe video ni ke ba mekpa no ke ha bola ni yo inshona ni ewie kenchon wo la cheme ni yo no na ke te wo fi oten te wo ba fe ten ni dwe abalo ye je ni twa ke Sani watching one two more Ojuba. Lele. Brofo we no ko etwa bright in the corner where you are. Ni if you know your onutumo heni. Ni sano kwani ofeje me fofo, ofeje me fale. Wake me ake joya ba na ake ba screen show na ko na ake chance na. Ake joya sa inshona. Ni wotwa ko hi adafi ake me ke joya jameshia na ba tia screen show na dabi. Shimo wodwa 83 ni ba won ganshone na mene mi hani me ake jo holiem. Wodwa 83 ni ba won ganshone na ni eyo ganshone na ejo holiem. Neke odo kenu ngone ne yipe me ni yo circle ke na kan ni bia mo fe amo ke odo echon ebola yi wo ba pa no ni pe wata wo wedi wo ba pa government e fai e ba fe me ke informo he na jin nchim benka me nha na amele first e wole ake machine ko ye kole mi ni a separator neke recycle plastics ne a separator make sure afa ke ha ke numbone ni nuemba eji oro ba ise ke plastics mene keshu afa ni nu na agba eho shina na won na ke na kan machine efiteche ni wotwa ya dafi ni wowie inchim benke amna lo inchim benke ye woga insure na joe ni yo inchim benka me no ni yo je bo mo de sakonye basa ke mene na lo me 500 keshu insure na ga sa na lo joe fe insure na mene bene ki ba chele bola ni ba shwe ko finu na titinye yo minpa mambi fe afai la bena ba na na ba yule shiminta ni ameli yake wo fan na jimpa ye ni la chetu wa mtu wontu ni amna lo ba wo wa chu ni no ni sani wo yue lo no ni sani wo chi abenke amna lo wo chi wo ka me wo benka me wo ka me wi ni wo ye mo ke wo ye ni ke wa ke ame ba chu ni o mama fai o mo ke o ba yo lo ko alo to yo no ko ke chu ganjona o fa ne wo la cheme Choben kame nyeke wagba sani nye bia wo sani wono ni yo wa kenyi shika o teshi ni oye o ke fe social media no ke wi be ne twanke wo la cheme tuwa me tumo duba me panya fai no tumo ni sani wo tuwe wontu yo me pa mo fia mo fai nyera do mo ma bibi.
Thank you very much. So Ni is explaining to me that fisher folks and the leadership of the fisher folks are doing what they have to do. He's paramountly concerned about the rubbish in the sea. And he says that, look, if you parade 500 people to come and clean, tomorrow morning, the residue from the Korle Lagoon, the Odo, will still come back into the sea. And he's concerned about that because all their efforts come to zero if you go there. Speaker after speaker has spoken about the chemical fishing, use of carbide and all of those chemicals, which is all good for us. And I'm sure that we couldn't have emphasized that over and over again. I want you to hold the thought about the nets that are used. Okay. We'll come back to it, but I see you have some smart kids with you, taking their destinies into their own hands. They speak Ghana, but you understand some Ghana, right?
Not enough. Feel.
Where?
I'll just...
Okay,
let me start. Can I start? Okay, hello.
3FM
In fact,
how are you?
Desmond.
Do you understand? Say he goes fishing. So ask him, te wo ya yo te. That one you understand. He said it's not easy.
It's not easy.
So ask
Mini Sani.
Cut your bag.
And also to Toyota.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 3FM.
Wo no ya to na lete. O she egbe. O she egbe.
FM Sunrise.
O na mo trouble ya. Bodan che.
3FM 92.7.
Every Saturday the Sunday. Every Saturday the Sunday. She, where you from? No small. Watch out.
So he says that when you ask, he used to ask his colleagues to teach him how to fish. Nobody was ready. So he took his destiny into his own hands, tried it, and then he loved it, and he goes in there. So you know opoku, right?
The fish, opoku.
Yes.
Very popular.
Yeah, not this opoku. Or and all those high-end fishes. He likes those ones. Not that they feel. I go designer watch can be. Only why. Okay. Me no why school. School ya me.
Sempre
Accra se be class in class 6. Bon ya class in. Boya school akra. Bon ya school.
3FM Sunrise.
Boya school. New order. Me no boya school nya me fe do ya boya school. I'm a PRA school. I'm a class school. Charlie, show up baby me. No. So I asked him why his voice is very heavy. He says that is what they use to actually pull. You know, they sing together and then they draw the line from the. Yes. So I don't want you to jump in black. I mean, la kobe. I mean, la kobe. Oh, no fear. Wow, amazing. Chama, hawala. 1, 2, 3, go. Come on. Tama. Thank you so much. Ni cafe nya de shanye. O de shan bo. O de sawa de nche. Mi ko anya de sako. Ba mi bo de safinye. Bo ya chako. Ni mena nya de molo. Amete nya molo. Ni lo na. Do you know Boboy?
Who?
Do you know Antele? Antele is the flash fish. Flat. Do you know Boboy? You don't know Inca.
What do you eat that one with?
Food. Keke. Bangkun.
Somebody said jollof.
No. Actually, Ima, ene makoma wenu cello 5 no le.
Kakamba, Antele, Boboy, Chukwe, Canflan, Incan.
Actually, wale. Chuchue no mie beninda kwe afio emo we le fresh meo meo.
Bia ne ko be. Bia fi pa ne ko be don.
Emo e go be don.
Wana ka bia na.
Minu wana nya ye fen.
Light here fit show. Light here fit show. Agbene tema go to BBA. Ame ben show mi fin amoni pa be wole katon.
Amoni no na aka egbe no.
Ame wole katon. Lo fin lo ya katon. Lo ka wole.
3FM Sunrise.
No ni ye yo na aka fen tie bia na ke ya fitin.
Bia ne no wa tutu mo fen fit. Wa tutu mo fen fit. E wa pa light we ya.
So she says that, look, stop the light fishing. And I remember so well as a boy, around July, August, September, you find people come around where we live at Kadisha, Bosukai, they'll be carrying fishes and they'll be shouting, the fish was so cheap and was available. They said now, because of the light fishing, you can't even find the fish to buy. And it's not there. You can't actually find it. So another appeal to stop light fishing. Because na get girlfriend say baba we ba. No my engage mo fiam. O find me no wakem.
FM 92.7. She kaje July ke ya. Analu. Kaje June July. Kaya ana lo jile yin ku lo je won eba na baba na sho awo won sho na ka bia mi lo je na chole swimming pool na fe e klo ya be da shiru awo ja bijan ni wala ni o se ke je fa papa na ke ba na ni se na ma ka shi otama si bia lo ye wo na sho lo ke baba ko ba je ba ka be ese eje ka be yese mi ta shine ka ba ga yin wala ga tu wana le bi ya na le yin ti o wo lo a wo bo emo ma le emo be si je light pa te pass mo ke ta ma si wa ma ne wo su light e bi ni wo sa wo bo emo e bi ni be ba cho ge se lo e wo ti o mo
Ellen, she's explaining to us, mother is explaining to us that the close season is becoming a problem to them.
Okay.
Because around July and August, that's when the fishes migrate from Abidjan all the way through Tema. And around that time, that's when the close season happens.
Okay.
So they are unable to harvest the fish which I am talking about. It's all around. They are complaining about it. Chima close season,
One year, now I get it. I want to buy you. What they meet you apply? Bien, America House. What they like, I'm a mommy. Many batrash, Tama, Psycho be I may be a guagua. I may be a Macamashi, Sana, Show, Yagashi. I may be a guagua. Now I'm in Costo. Yatama, Wakaloba, Costo, Banu. Yajamo, what you mean on your school? Go on, be on your school. One, if Baba Costa, I'm sure that she and Yokobe. Not by any. Yes, you know, what we are, what are the Pacamo, in Shaka, well, or push, Carabaka, Yana, will let me. I mean, I know what to do. I got for the appetite. Oh, maybe I know what to do. What I got for your quack. Be I own. What
So mommy is explaining that they went to a meeting in Tama. East Legon. The fisheries ministry organized a meeting for them regarding the close season. And those who do industrial fishing, not the artisanal fishing like they do, they were the ones who came and they came to speak. But I mean, the kind of fishing that they do with the machinery that they have is not comparable to what they do. And they say, look, their children, their grandchildren depend on them. Somebody has just come. See, so she's giving 70 Ghana cedis. The mother is taking 70 Ghana cedis from the mother to go and take and use and do one or two things. And she says, like, when you close the sea, how am I able to take care of my children and my grandchildren? How do we survive?
Payments received. Cool.
Yes, schooling and is going away. Collect the money, fine. 70 Ghana, more than somebody's minimum wage. Has collected the money. Ima
3FM Sunrise.
Net akaya wo. Minole aka me so net bibi na mo lo bibi ya lo ada. Teenagers, lo amo teenagers fe mi no wa ye. Obebe no ko ba ye. O fa na ba ye. Nke ba segbe. O go ba ye segbe. Aja oyo aja no oyo ko. Aja assalamu alaikum. Aja me no oyo ko. Yo mo no ko net e mi no le. La ilaha illallah. Oh aja. Aja don't do that. Talk to us.
92.7.
Kana lo ta feteni ana sikani akeheni aho kaya tasi won ke wa tasi na kani fe akwa aho ni kaga abanga nso mo obu ami no na anga nso e na kai ba
Hajia says that she's not getting as much as she used to get. She's been selling here for 33 years.
Wow.
And the kind of returns that she used to make doesn't make it anymore because when the fisher folks go, they don't bring enough fish. And that means that it doesn't translate into money that they would have. So there's a concern. But this program, Community Connect, in your community or Sunrise in your community, is brought to you by USA, the American people. Chairman, okay.
Ofane, ni ya no. Bena fo ka bajele me wan sho. Ni ka nan sho pe bo le me chona ba. Bantu no fese ka ti wo bantu no. Abanya wana lo mo che tenti jo. Be lo da gbe jala wa. Da gbe jo te me mo yo ke ya. Oxford Street wa mo je me. Je mo fi business ona dika lo jala wa. No te wa ko customer ke si lo e an mo na lo ko e. Be ba shi ba ke ya ta kwa de ya ni ya ana le bi eje mi o do eji na gba ke ara ni wa da ke shi na ba ma ne parliament na vote eje ma ke sa na an solu ni wa no ni ya no kro a de so na won party inti next 4 years ale no woni mo ba yes na take ni bi ya nya mu wa
akaka so no he says the close ya akaka so no oh e wan ki na ka bala na ka so ni small Hey, ma, o mi efu we.
O fa ni won pa mla lo e fa ke. Wo la ni bi jele wa. Ni bi ana yawo. Code o ba follow je for ko be. Eni o ba he petrol. Me ni ke wa we nyam ba na. Won pa fa ni bi jele wa. Bi ane to ne na ka ba ne mo fi mo suma ke he ko. Fe to ne de la wa. Si bi ane to ne de la wa. O pam la lo fa ye ani bi apasifie ha wo le me no ni die no fa do question bi kana bi ane ha for 10 million thousand now for 4 million wa he o bi ane 1000 no fe ne ke we wa ye wo he kana temele te ba yo le che ame ba me he lo we ka wo me pe lo ba ma wo hi ni to ne na ka ya wo pam la lo fa ye ekweto ni e fi han wo me ni ya wo we ni dala basifio bi anto no no na ka to ni do to akolo ni lu to to akọ no na so ko pepe akabo ba pepesi bottom sandboard akabo ba pepesi bottom sandboard iwe e fata lo ta je ni ko we wo he iye fata lo wo he
Sunrise.
so na je 300 ka se na 300 na wo akpiye 400 never wa akpiye owo pa la lo e fai ne kuro le fi awon ye yu adun
Ellen, so the outboard motto is the central theme here now. 40,000 Ghana cedis. That's how much? 40,000 Ghana cedis. So she fries fish. That's the husband who's the man who prayed for us. And she says that, look, even the oil that they use to fry the fish is now so expensive. 1 gallon is 1,000 Ghana cedis. So if the production cost that goes into trying to harvest the fish, all right, and so also to fry the fish, how much will you buy that fried fish for? That's the question.
So that's why the fish is expensive.
Yes.
For those of you who are listening, you want to know why the fish is so. Now you know why.
The reality is that, look, they can't find the premix fuel, so they buy regular fuel. And then they buy oil to add to it to create their own version of a premix fuel. All right? And then somebody, okay, Grandma, so this is the 1,000 cedis oil. Right? This is what is selling for 1,000 cedis. And they say that's what they use to do the production. I'm concerned about the nets. Uncle, when net sanena you can net bibi na ke molo bibi any mono is what monofilament. Okay. O fine me no ba wie.
Ago chamaga nyame.
Amen.
Nyano kan fi ba ko shefe mba ye fanya do manye. Ngbaji ni okoso ni ji enyono sempe wala che. Ngbaji ni okoso ni jono sempe wala che. Fi aga no na yu ono fen se we pimu mi wa ojogba na nche. Jaga nete na ga ya wo nete ekomi gba wona. Ni ji ne kan ya bibi ne fi gba wona ni ji luwesi ya ne e gba wona ojogba ya show mi. Ndana wo bi ye me aba complain yi. Shi wo wule ma bi oga chuni. Jaga no na amega ogo chunu peji amega no gba me na amega no chunu e anga sho na chi amena na ga bia me ego na ga bia me jibe ni wula me akolo ya fa mo shika ni ye shene ga obu e bia le ba pay e ga lock wona e wo wu ya e ga na nyo ehu e ga loyalty wo ga loyalty pe onye mo pay e me do afi se do ga wa pita ya bibi e ko e ga tuni e ga na shika go ga wo mo nyo wo pa go fitin fai wo pa ma le fe fai wo pa ma bia un fai. Then anya chungo ule mana nyoko be nakano lesa na anya chi nakani biana ko nakani be wa je show sha anya nakani na chi ege wo me no echolele bibiru afa ma sha ko chungo ko yo ni ga chi wona no wo de sisi ni jo bu e bia me no ji no ga na wo shika ko pe ko nyomoji wo pa fa wo pa ma we fe fa yi naka sha na chi ege ja ngbe shikura dan ko ni naka je abo na je mi ko ni shi ajo awo ni mla pa ga e pin wule me fe wule me yu mo ko kwa be ba ga yu agana bia me no ju wole me josi na me na me ska na pia me nyomoji mo ko nego ga wo biscuits mo ko nego ego wo bigbe e ga JSS si ta ga bi fe e pese everything wole ma bi nye school e pa imbi ne sani be ne mo e a school si ko mo e cho wole jo ne se wo se ne cho wole jo si no ji no ni papa chu e ga kwa wo no le ba chu le ga kwa e ga wo se agoro mo pa fa aba mo de wa na kan church yin na close kwa na GM kwa wo ko se me aja. And
there's continuous concern about the close season, but also paramount in the last two statements that have been made is the fact that they don't have patient capital, and everything that they have to invest in terms of their fishing, whether it be outboard motor, whether it be the canoe, nets, etc., they have to go for a loan. And one of the key things that they have come to contend with is that whenever they go for the loan and you are unable to pay in good time, your photo is pasted. Oh. So you are made popular against your will. And they are asking questions why they cannot have access to soft loans and patient capital, etc. Then he talks about the nets as well.
Yes.
And the fact that those who have access to the big machinery actually go under the sea, right under, harvest everything. So when they go, they artisanal miners, fishers, they really can't get anything.
Everything has been taken.
So you go contract loan, you cannot pay, you cannot have access to your money. So now some of them resort to the monofilament nets, right, which does not decay, which is plastic, just so that they are able to repay back what they owe because they don't want their photographs to be put out there. And that's a big concern. And all the 9 or 10 comments that have been made points to law enforcement from the government. The law enforcement from the government. And you can't understand and fathom why there's the marine police, there's the military, there's regular police, you have coastal guards, etc. And the situation is not getting any better. Can you understand it?
A lot of concerns have been raised today. Again, things that we didn't know about. Today we're learning that. But it sounds as though, like you said, everything is about law enforcement. So that everybody can have a fair playing field. Right. To also make money.
That's right.
To be able to give the young ones something small, like we saw today. Somebody came and picked his 7 cities coolie. I saw it quickly. I thought he was coming to say a few words with that, but he got the money and he left. And that's why we're all here, to make a living, to survive. So all of these concerns, I know that are hopefully going far and wide. And for many of us, again, the cost, just that 1,000 Ghana cedis for the oil.
In fact, the chief fisherman from the Abola area came to talk about sanitation on the beach.
Yes.
And said, look, if you put 500 people together today to clear the beach, tomorrow morning you'll find that same filth on the beach. You know why? Because the Korle and Odo, once it starts raining, people turn it into a receptacle for their rubbish and they pour waste into it. And all the waste, we know that all the rivers, lakes, and streams, whatever it is, comes to land right in the beach.
That's
so
right.
they will try whatever they do. If you go back here, you see they have harvested a lot of plastics, they've kept it there for recycling and all of that. But then, really, me no back here me.
3 FM Sunrise.
If you are to be the loe mu ewa ni bemena ke ya wo mu fe mu tale bomo dia bana ilele loe bala la ke sani ko ya wo obiro yo okele afito yi kuni ewa bu mu fe mu tawo ilele ni leche ke ya wo ko bi ya mu beje ni ba bu na wo no na ke bi ni afita wo ni ya wo na ka wo jeshi no na ngo ka mejeshi kuni afita wo no kenken ma yi wonu ha wona na ke ha shone ngamo ni nyeme yoye magwe fio kwa ke ko bete ke o bagbe kwa mo akashi e ngan sho ke ha ne eyin ke ha ni ahani ne ke light lo ne ke ni fe agaje wo mo mi mo ne wo mo mi wona ese na mo shi ka na gbele no a light no meni lo e nu mi ame lo no o ka o tani lo afo lo wolo akamole beni akefisi trole se ya na kanu akea nsene achime baba wona chi onya me se ya agbene me benu yin ni ji law enforcement na benu yin ni o bi le ga boat ni ake fiona ke law enforcement etempe organa ni e ko bi ake gadi oil fude enyo gadi oil fude ne ko bi togu iba wo da fikobe iba wo shome ga jeme ga ba wo fikobe kama mo ba lulu alo efe ga no enye efe no efe to mo ni like kan shona na ana se na mo no ame yo ye ame ani mla atuni koni me na cho wo bi ne ko ne wa bile na ka nga shone wo ko ne mashwa mi wo no ni abi o chikwa na ne numwele yo wo ko ne le bracket sana ngo ko wa ni like lu ne akpa baba mwe na ke fina mwe na ke yomo ne bano una ke ibado mwe ipeyo
3 FM Sunrise.
wo kwene luona ni yewe ya basa ya wa kona se wo kwa fa ne la tulu na bo na jaji ahawo ke ha ne bola ne ni akeba shio shona na mene no na ga gemo kunga wu social media ke wo bi ne shona wu mji wa kwa fa wa insho bi ne wo je me frache wo tesian nibi ka wo fe po ko bola mu show mi bola ni le ye nu ne bola jo katamanton ke oteja bia no na roba wa na atalejin mama atalele roba do na fi ope ke nibi disposal caps ne baba o ni ojeme o na wo na ga me ko me poten fioni ni dagi na baba aje ne e mi amana ame aje sa ke me ayi me ni peke na fe ona opidri ne jẹun maka gọta na gbelele ma ne efa kọtẹ odo ọna ne kọtẹ kẹsì agbo bifẹ mi ni mo wa ne wa na jọ ẹgin ẹbi ẹnikẹ jọ ẹba ne kẹ wa na kọtẹ chan ni balamu jọ ẹsọ kọkọ pẹtẹ sẹ wọn yẹ ẹ mọ bọ wọ́n jẹ́ wọ ètò náà ti wọ́n ní bọ́ọ̀lù ajẹ́ máa fi nà si yẹn ni wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ̀kẹ́ ní ìṣọ́ ọba nùhàn ni wọ́n náà nìkẹ́ nàgbà ní wọ́n pàfà yẹ amẹ́fẹ́ lọ́ni sà dáàbì ẹ̀ yóò mọ̀ lọ́ni bá náà ti rẹ̀ mi jí yóò mọ̀ akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àtọ̀ mẹ́mẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ̀ ṣe politics bẹ́ẹ̀ náà fẹ́ politics ẹ̀ lọ́lẹ̀ ní speaker ní mọ̀mọ́ lọ́lẹ̀ sẹ́ náà kẹ́ fẹ́ kàmpé yẹ ìdálà wa ní kẹ́kẹ́ ní kẹ́kẹ́ ní akẹ́fẹ́ kàmpé akẹ́yẹ àtọ́mẹ́ akẹ́yẹ kàchí àwọn aláṣọ abiyẹ ní kẹ́ ànìkẹ́ àpàṣínà gbẹmẹ́ bá nu gbẹmẹ́ ní vote wọ yóò mọ̀ náà kàmẹ́ yìí kaka kama biwa wana mavoto wa mihamgo na kano ko le baro to lage bola ga wo bi ina ga fe ne amanu shika afe ko be she no atashi ame be kokoro ke mo he shika yi gana ne fe to mo je mo mani no fe no aka wo mo de fio wo ke uta match solution ne alo ta ni ne yue mo ba mo ndo bile ake ni na ga wo de mini o fe ona nke abana bi be ni ko politics ya ne na she kana ebi wo fe to be ni bi lo e ni uhana na passport ne no ni aho na ye bo bi ba ye ko onye mi ko bi ba ye ko o mo ba ye bi ana ka agbowa ne ba nya ba no wo go ne pe do do go chi wona ni be na ba na se be me ko ba o go pa fa afa no ni sa oni wona no ye nya ke ne nya ye ni abanga nso ya ba wo yi ye ma bi pi wo bi e wo so mo na ko papa ani ni bi ajaji ke so mo na ba ni ba fe ni sa ni stop ni ke like ni wo fise akpanga mo ko ni ajaji ke ja ni na kan wo be fa na shi de yo ko wo ya wo yi ajaji e gbe wo shuwa ni yo ya no
3 points that you raised which are critical. Number one, we talk about sanitation and says that, look, you go to Cantamanto, Elias spoken about Odo and the Kole Lagoon, the plastics, but he said that you go to the beach now and you find clothing and, you know, just the PET bottles and disposable cups and all of that. It comes from there. Now, the AMA, which is the city authority, knows about it, but what have they done about it? That's a big question. Number two, he says, look, we will close the sea and we will say we'll have close season. But then we return from close season and the agreements that they had with government to align to be on the same page is not heeded to, so that by the time the season is closed and opened, then we revert to live fishing. And that's also a problem. And the third point is that, look, children are engaged in fishing because it's become difficult, so that the children have to now be guided, to be helped, to be mentored, to take over from their parents because their forebears also did all of that. I mean, that's literally the conversation here. Secretary to the Chief will make a statement. What do you say?
3FM Sunrise.
If you are like well, be Jimmy. Into war. In blend your face, ya. When she near far where your boy. Nay, get my boy, a jiwa harvest time. Can you to Wafu, a happy harvest time? Achiam. She will harvest time about Chiwana. You know me to anyone, you are the sky na fly a bank. Fair, one of the pure. No, Kaki, Abana Fair, when I check it. Kajana, July Hawk said, Scream on, you will like to I got the cross for purpose. I got our point that can be enough. You'll be going there, sir. I don't just them. She can go back, but don't want to get out to implement it. I'll become a problem. And if you don't want to.
So they are not really against the close season. They just want it to be moved because, according to, if you listen to our mothers and you listen to, our chiefs and the gentlemen, they're talking about the fact that July, August, season is when they have bumper harvest usually.
Right.
So when you close the sea around that time, you actually are putting them at a disadvantage.
They can't take advantage of that.
Exactly. So they want it moved so that they can also have their bumper harvest. Then the loans that they have contracted from the banks can be paid, and they can take care of their children, save money, etc. And I think it's a very fair and frank conversation to have.
Yes,
you know.
absolutely. It's necessary, especially you say the fish coming from Abidjan, and they have to take advantage. Everything we've heard today, I hope, is getting far and wide, because these are the issues on the ground. Like we always say, you have to be on the ground to actually understand what is going on, and that's what we always do on 3FM 92.7.
Well, so they have explained and said that, look, they don't have a problem with the close season. One of the key problems that Nee spoke about is that, look, we agree with you, close the sea, but when you finish, don't allow people to do light fishing and chemical fishing. Because then it comes back to zero. If you are repeating, you can't do the same old things and expect different results. There's one more I want to hear from Latilumba. Manche, Munao.
3FM Sunrise.
Wameni wasu like tonye abacheno awo alo wameni wasu like wono abagbe ni menene mana abachi shiboni amamenale ni ameyo wameni wasu wona ganu oyole na ble kote kawuli la ka boro su like wo abagbe ya no abukuni munesu na ga menu male wo ga fe yo woni wo ya no na kan na amamena biye wo kwa mi cho bẹ́ẹ̀ni tó a gẹ́gẹ́ wọ́n mi wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n sun wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n sàlẹ̀ wọ́n sun alo dé nà ká wọ́n kẹ́ wọ́n bọ̀ tí wọ́n wù yẹ kọ́ pẹ́ wọ́n fẹ́ ní bójú kámọ́ mi tó a gẹ́ kẹ́ wọ́n bọ̀ tèmi yẹ wọ́n fẹ́ ní bójú lo ẹ̀dá wọ́n wé ní sàlẹ̀ fẹ́ ànyàfẹ́ wọ́n náà ànyàfẹ́ ní wọ́n yẹ pín wọ́ ní kẹ́wọ́ tẹ̀ wé mọ̀ bíyẹ tó wọ́n wọ̀ ní kẹ́ àbẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀ kí yẹ nà má gẹ́ ní búbúlù yà wọ́n náà mi kí àbẹ̀ wọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n kẹ́ ní ẹ̀ náà abe ba jewo ora wo lele me be ni nyenye fe ni nyenye fe ni be sari wo te na ni an aga wo papa da ja papa ora ya na wo che kawle price na ka wo je 92 wo le ka wo te we lo ni fo efe mu yo ma ka ni ni mo te wo sha lo ya de ka o ha ko me ni wo wa ge wo na wo ya bona me yo le wo na ka no wo yo le wo ko kwe wo pi mo mi lo wo yo le e wo be ge me kwa.
So he says that, look, those who are doing the illegal fishing with the lights and chemicals, etc., they buy the same outboard motor at the same price as they do. So now if they also decide to join them, what will we have achieved? Because now they are suffering. Because some people are being allowed, because there's lack of law enforcement, so they can use the light to fish. And they can harvest cartons of fish. But then they go and get kwabo. So now they are asking the question, do they join them or do they leave? Do they stay and do right by humanity or by nature, or do they join them?
Because they have to survive.
They have to survive. They buy from the same shops that these people buy from. They buy the same nets, they buy the same fuel, they buy the same outboard motor, they buy the same wood for the same canoe. So now they are asking a very tough question of the authorities. That what do you want us to do now? Tell us.
You want us to do the right thing, or do you want us to survive?
Or you want us to join the bad guys? I'll end with a female voice and then we'll wrap up for H. Over and back.
Ọ̀fààní kẹ́ àmọ̀túnú àgbélé na àwọ̀ mi lọ àwọ̀ mi.
Helen, answer the question.
Yes, please.
Mommy says, when you finish constructing a building, Do you sleep inside or you don't sleep inside?
Oh, I finished constructing it.
Yeah.
Where will I sleep?
No,
I'll sleep inside.
Yes.
Yo, baba fẹ́ mi akẹ́kẹ́ wọ̀ mí. Wọ́n gbá yẹn lù lápá. Káwọ́ bí káwọ́ náà bí. Níwọ̀n tá wọ̀ṣì fóònù. Lákàtà máa bọ̀ àwọ̀ lákàbọ̀ kàmá. Akẹ́kẹ́ bá wọ̀ mí káwọ́ jọ́lẹ̀ mi. Wọ́n bí káwọ́ yẹn mà ní àyè. Náà máa bọ̀ àwọ̀. Lẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n wọ́n àjẹjẹ kọ́nà kò mí. Àmì bí àyè pátá bí àyè kàtọ́ bọ̀ ní wọ́n mẹ́tọ́ mú yàn fún yìí. Mẹ́kọ́ bá pa mi túmọ̀. Kàtọ́ bọ̀ ní wọ́n yẹ́ lọ bá ìṣọ̀nà. Mẹ́bí yẹ kàṣíyàn àmì ní ìṣọ̀nà mẹ́bà. Yàgbọ́ bọ̀ bá pàǹkẹ́lẹ́ lẹ̀. Kọ́ọ̀tù èsì àná wọ́n àkọlẹ̀ wú ẹ. Bọ́ọ̀lù di àbú ẹ̀ ṣíyàn. Wọ́n pa lọ́lọ́ ẹ̀fà ìkẹ́tọ́ ní ilé máàkì yẹn ṣẹ́ṣẹ́ nínú. Kọjá lẹ́ṣà lọ́lọ́ ẹ̀dí àkẹ́kẹ́ àmàtú náà gbé náà. Nàgbẹ́lẹ́ náà awọ́ mi. Ewa ká ọ̀ṣìwọ̀ṣì fún ọ̀nà o.
3FM Sunrise.
They want to go back to the promised land, and they say that, look, the stairs is too steep. They cannot climb any further. So the government that moved them from the Jamestown landing beach needs to bring them back, because they took them to the Korle Lagoon area. They have to bring them back because they are suggesting that their names should have been written, so that at least those who were there, who were applying their trade there with Felicity of Style, would have been reinstated as soon as the harbour was completed. But they can't find their feet, and they say some have had to end their work because there is no avenue for them and all of that. So essentially, that's where the big question comes in. That when you finish constructing a building, do you live inside or do you stay away? And now they say, take us back to the promised land, which is Shiwo Shipon. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. We'll take a last comment. Where's the gentleman? He has run away. Over the baba. It's short, no? 2 minutes ago.
3FM Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise.
I go tell me. If I told me, you see for me. You get this down. No matter you pay Agashi. On Pamalo Fai. Agashi. The PNP will now go. Anyagi. You know what you do, money. Watch about the corner. Rest in peace. My lady. If you are I will give you money too. Say ya Poliwu. Olutuni wa gbeshi no pero wa ya ego. Efe na ya mi iye ego. She dey na ke ba yu eke atoro wa ya Otoville limit. No stop. She gba sho. Ni bi ola gashi. Afe kan fa. Afe kan sho. Ni ke ko bebe ka yo no wo. Efe ma ka atale ti me ku. Sala atale ti me ku. Agashi when you kaya ya wo wale ro ya dogo sibeni when you been dogo mala by president by minister leti mo ni ya bu show me dogo mala leti mo ba mi fita ni me to wo ya obo isu show me se wo no fan tie show akere afe ya afa afe ya show ni bi akere ni wo no nshi akere isho esha ya east Nojie kwa eya west nojie dwe efi afi shifa ke ewe kobe ke east ya east west ya west rewo kami ke woni be do ko kwa ko agashi no ko ni eya bi egbe ni eji etun eya bi egbe roba ya ni egwale roba ya lo nya agbeyo lo wo ya fe wo sanji baba o ka se mi tinu to na gebo jebo ni ba shi mi okay ka ba pastor ahun atume eni si atume aba lo roba ya baba o kete aba lo roba ya ego gbagbe mu tí o fẹ́ gba tí àmì ẹ̀kọ́ mi gba yóò sùn kàn ya kí ẹ̀ fún ẹ̀kọ́ ya ni ya ewu wa mi tí wọ́n ní bí mo láì tẹ̀sẹ̀ náà ìwọ ká láì tẹ̀sẹ̀ láì tẹ̀sẹ̀ mi bí ọ̀gá rẹ̀ mi kó bú iná yóò náà kẹ̀kẹ́ ṣká ní ìfẹ́ ṣká sílẹ̀ ìtajà kẹ̀kẹ́ ṣká yé ni wàá fi láì di ya ṣáká ní mo gbé tẹ ebu gbé tẹ ṣé kó tẹ náà bù wọlé àná lọ bá bulẹ̀ nyẹ́bu wọ̀ mi lọ nyẹ́bu wọ̀ tí wọ́n ní àgbà tó yẹ ayé kàn án tó yẹ ẹ̀ máa wọ̀ òmò kẹtọji kẹkẹ wọ n'adúlọ yóò tẹ ma sẹ akadá ma wọ ọmọ ọmọ náà bá yẹ wọ sika akadá ma wọ ọmọ kẹtọji titọji hàn hàn wọ yẹ àwọ ọmọ kẹtọji àwọ ọmọ náà wọn tó yẹ àwọ sika àfẹ statement tẹ akọkọ yẹ àmàwọ ọmọ kẹtọji fẹfẹ bẹ kẹkẹ wọ titọji yẹ kẹkẹ wọ kájí bẹtẹ sika wọ kẹ
92.
Tunde ska okay. Waka kesi ayo akone de masage akeke wo momo ketoji. Wọ́n bá wà rẹ̀ fàyè. Agbègbè yóò mi dákẹ́ sí. Ní ẹ̀wọ́ àmì wọ̀ rọ́bà yà á dùn mọ̀ bíbí mọ̀. Ìṣe àti ẹ̀wọ̀ o. Ìṣe àti ẹ̀wọ̀ sí ọmọ yẹn bí. Bí bẹ̀rẹ̀ bí masters. Wọ́ kẹ́kẹ́ yẹn ṣá ní nípa àbẹ̀ bí masters bá yà àbẹ̀. Ó wá ní òsàn ni. Àgàbọ̀ ojú ọ̀nà. Ó fẹ́ wá ní èfè. Wọ́n ní òsàn. Bí masters. Rọ́bà masters ní ibi ọ̀rọ̀. It's step back. Wala kono kaji bi ala to je ba bi e ke ke to ba bi e ni bi yo ma wa bi e eni ko was like them wo to ji bi aje agbe ka petro ba wu petro fi o wa bi e petro bi ya na so like bi e ka ti ni ake a do wala te mi wala te ka ni o wala te bola wala la agbe bi na me minister like them wo lẹ́wọ̀n àjọlá mi bíi wọ́n akẹ́ àmì ọ̀nà ní mímì asúláì wọ́n fẹ́ wọ́n bá asúláì tẹ̀. Tàbí kí n kẹ́kẹ́ ọmọ yẹ wọ́ ẹ̀ anyá àjọlá mi ní sàwọ́ ọ̀nà àgbélé àmì tí ẹni asúláì tẹ̀ yẹ tí ọmọ ọmọ mi bí ayé àmì kẹ́kẹ́ tó yẹ bá àmì ọ̀nà àgbélé bí àmì kẹ́kẹ́ tó àmì bíi pẹ̀lú àìtẹ́ tó wọ́n sún wọ́n yẹn lọ rẹ̀ wọ́n á wú àmì wọ́n kọ́kọ́ fa la lẹ́fọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọ́n bá sún wọn fẹ́ kó ní wọn fana wá ká wú wa mi kó wọn fà yà sọ pé tó ní wọn fẹ́ wá ó ní wọn kó fẹ́ mọ́kò wọ́n yóò wọ́n fẹ́ ní sáré wọn yà wá.
So the question to you was that if he doesn't have money, can he fund his children's education to do a master's program?
Masters.
Yeah. If he doesn't have money.
I mean,
it's not possible.
I mean,
so he said that look, he uses the monofilament.
Monofilament, the plastic net.
Now he was not using that previously, but now he has resorted to using that because the light vision has cut across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the conversation has predominantly featured the light vision.
Yes.
And he said that look, he has had to resort to that because he's hungry. He attended the meetings, 3 of them. There was a minister under the NDC regime. They put an imposition on them, etc. And now the enforcement is not there. So he has to go back and resort to light vision. And he's asking the question. He says, whenever it comes to honoring and awarding people who are engaged in fishing, they award the people who use the monofilament and leave them. So now, they all want to go and join the conversation. Now, he told me an essential conversation that for 6 months, the sea moves, it drifts towards the east.
Okay.
And then 4 months, it drifts towards the west. This is science that nobody will teach you in the classroom, but they know it.
That's right.
So now, when you make the argument that the monofilament is what will deplete the fish from the ocean. They disagree because they know that for 6 months it drifts towards the east, for 4 months it drifts towards the west.
6 times.
And then he said that, look, the monofilament nets are used or made for the rivers and the streams and the lakes, not the sea.
Okay.
But then, to the extent that the people who are supposed to ensure and enforce that the monofilaments are not used sit aloof and watch. So now they have to join because it's so have to go to school.
That's right.
Crux of the matter.
Finish.
The best in the morning.
So why can't the authorities crack the whip?
Sunrise on 3 FM.
Why can't they crack the whip? Ni will finally speak to us in 2 minutes and then we'll wrap up the conversation.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3 FM.
Aba lu ke ya me sie aba sure gidi ye je me ni ale beni oba ale ko ni ke ba le na pe ka ba je ko e iba fe gidi lo ba na me ni mo ni je ame ji me ni je abo mi amba he pe iba fe na gba ka wo ne che wo ko he na si be o ba na mo fe mo pe wo fe picture tag wa a mo fe mo ni je je bi ane e tag moni beta ke fo be ke balaka ya jeme be je mo yo ni ji wo mo me ke o nye me ni choni abo mi ke fita he bana ke agbele abo na agbele mo ifi ake no mi ya fi na ka fi o imami ni bi baba o ke no me ko me klo ni bi mo jeme ni chinese bi ba report akichi be ni na klo me shori ke ba no ko ba kwa ku be ke o hani tumo ina ba ame ni ye no ka ti na ka ko ba chi she ke ba ke ni ye igbala mi ihame no e fetu abo isenche na agbina no je me chwa ke chi be me ko ba je me na me fe ni sai je me wo be wo ke go be ke ya ke ame hani security aba je me be ba la ke se ba le na security ne aba be ina ya ke le no ni sho bojo ko te shi ni fite bi ba o ni me ni si abo na ke shi no na me fe e miaka me fe bonne shina bae wona bane be menisi o chuo beka ameka o ne shika ya ka ha me ka ke no ka fe do be no ni ke na babaji be no na me fe ameka me ko ke kacha ni abo ayemu do be be la ke sana ta uska do ma ba fo kacha do be do fo kacha mo ya ni abo egili ameka ameta na me filo do da ni han be age do le ka han be ge bo tu ba fe basake be afe bone wo be ame na tu ya na ke aba afe de ke sena gbina ke sika ko atawo ni be be focha ni na me go bia ne sika ko atawo ni akefo ni bashi eyemu ajaga na me fie eyemu wo be hani ke de mo ha ko ni me ba je bia ne shi e me ka shi me ba je woto je no be fo akebe ba je me shi ne ke na gba ni yo abo mi ne afeni si dollars ma ba jeme bia ne sia wu ba me ba wo ka me funa jeme agbene ne jo ne wu ne ka me fe jo se ba fu jo ba hu ba ya ni se ya wo be na gba ni yo je wo ya jeme amba ma nye me ye fe fa ke ameke yo mo ne ba ke shi amenta uska ni afo wa fe ameka me bia me ke sho twa e bojo mi mu ni hani abo sa ni sho twa jeme shi bia ne sho twa mi ni sia we ba mi ni na gana na mena jino no wa mesmo ni me ba je ni shop ba ke shi ba we no be ni ba te ni ya kwata ma ni wa mesmo ni ana chi fi ha ko ni ne ya no ni na meti ono ji yo mo ni yo no fi o
abo agbegbo na ga start yo ma je
fi aga no ji na gba ni me yo bia ne
agbegbo na ga start yo ma je nya bo mo ne ga ma ne wa denche alo nya bo mo ne nye bomoden wa denche agbegbo na sha ke start you magam again o fine so when Mr. Yusuf Amoy was talking Ellen he said that one of also the concern that they have is the fact that they came to give them free rice when the coast was closed or when the sea was closed but then they gave them outboard motors that they paid for. But the communication out there is that they gave them free rice and free outboard
But it
motors.
was not free.
But he's paying for it. He's bleeding through it. So that's it. So we're wrapping up our conversation. Let's come close up. This is Community Connect in your community. We've come to you live from Ashetown, Jamestown, the landing beach. And this is sponsored and supported by the USAID from the American people. My name is Johnny Hughes. I've been here.
Few. Today I learned a few things.
What did you learn?
Today I learned Toyoten. Oyeni. Which one are you eating?
Aklo.
That one I'm ready
You know
for.
aklo?
Yes, they've been preparing it.
Yeah, they've been preparing it.
Yes, but what are we eating that aklo with?
Kinky. Otim kala.
Otim kala.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to Otinshinu.
Otinshinu. Hey! Then we have to go down there. You know what Otinshinu is?
It's like after you cook the kinky, you get like something like kinky porridge. Then you can add sugar.
Yeah, and milk.
And milk.
And one more thing. If you add lemon to Otinshinu, yes, it will finish your fever for you.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Lemon and Otinshinu.
With sugar?
No.
Oh, fine.
Lemon, no sugar. Lemon and Otinshinu.
Okay.
It will finish your fever for you.
I'm ready.
And
To burn they can burn the fat.
do you know what we call what fever in Ghana?
No, how do you say that?
Atridi.
Atridi.
Yeah, atridi.
So you drink Otinshinu
Yeah.
to remove the atridi.
Atridi. Otinshinu kabonwa.
Oh, you are done.
To remove the atridi. Say atridi.
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 To do.
Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I love you. Hey, you are done. Thank you so much. Come on.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.